Hi, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching, and with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2025, I want to talk to you just about a session that I've designed today to talk about controlling the tempo of a game. So within the game, you're obviously seeing, ebbs and flows. You're coming out your first couple minutes, everyone's coming out ready to go, fired up. You see a lot of intensity. There's lulls in the game where it slows down, and we're seeing, it's kind of boring to watch, honestly. We're seeing one team get momentum, and they're starting to really, getting shot after shot after shot, and the ball is like basically living in the opposition's box, and then reverses. We have teams that we're going way too fast. We're trying to press, or we're dribble, and it's leading to turnovers. We have teams that are going too slow, and we're not getting enough attack because we're not able to move quickly enough to break opposite lines. Anytime in the game, we're going to see different tempos and different needs for different tempos. And so what this session is about, finding that tempo, but being able to call upon that when it's the appropriate situation. So if we're playing too slow, coach is saying play too slow, we're too slow. You want your players to be able to take that and say, okay, well, that's what that means. When he says we're playing too slow, it means we need to be doing these particular things. We need to be moving the ball quicker. Our off the ball movement should look more like this. So you're teaching when you're saying those words, the verbiage is coming out. The players have a blueprint of what that looks like, of how that reaction should be, not just, well, we got to up the tempo. Okay, so should I run more? Should I run faster? Should I just run all over the place? What does that actually mean? So I've started this session with a drill that I particularly like, and I've brought up in my other videos. I think it's simple, but it's a fun, and it's a great activation. And it's just something that we, my high school team especially prides ourselves on being able to do. And it's called Hurt Locker, and we have, this was a little more advanced one where we have 3 different balls in the grid. So this player passes to this player, very simple, and they follow their pass. All one touch. This player plays this player, and they follow their pass. And the rules are the balls cannot hit. They cannot hit another player. You can't go outside of the cones. You have to run. You can arc your way around, but you can't go outside. It has to go in. And so once you get going, you have a player coming through here, you have a player coming through here, you have another ball coming back, one touch, and it's about timing it up. All right, so maybe you need to go faster. You're finding the appropriate tempo. The player's you're jogging slowly, ball's coming, get the ball off your foot, quickly get it out of the way, set that tempo, move, get out of the way. Maybe it's taking slower, the balls are trickling there, the player's sprinting across. If you play it now, it's going to hit them, so you wait, delay, and then you play a ball. So working a lot in tempo here. And then on the outside, the last player in line is playing a pass around to touch, and play out here, touch, play out here, touch, play out here. What happens is, when the player gets to the end of the lines, maybe the drill's done. I don't have to pay attention. I can turn off. They do that, and the ball is then sailing, and then the drill ends. Generally, what I do is if the ball hits somebody, or they misplayed, or it's a 2-touch, or it goes out, like just I explained, they maybe do one push-up, maybe more if we're doing something a little more serious, but one push-up just to denote like we lost, and we keep time. So we try to hit 1 to 2 minutes or something along those lines, and we try to get closer and closer to that. And we're dealing with the failure of it, and we're adjusting in communication. One thing I like to add though is that we're playing music during it, and I have the Hurt Locker playlist, and I'll play music that's very fast. I'll play very slow music. We'll go from I play like Jimmy Buffett, Cheeseburger in Paradise, which just annoys them so much, and then we'll go to some kind of fast-paced song. I have a song that's literally just called Stress, and it's just like the loudest, noisiest music ever. And then I'll go something mid-tempo. So we're talking about how the tempo changes, and the noise changes, and the outside impact changes, but you have to read what's necessary for you. The music's fast, but the game is requiring you to go slow, because the player, if you played it right now, you'd hit the player that's running through there. So it's about kind of taking the external stimulus out that doesn't matter, focusing on the stimulus that does matter, which is the movement of the players, and picking the appropriate tempo. I think it's just a great way to get players in that mindset of tempo, rate of play, how fast we're going to play, how slow we're going to play, and things like that. So from there, we clear this out. So we were going to play with a rondo, where the number of touches constantly changes. So we're going to have, a small sided game, keep away game. I said rondo. So we have a game where each team is constantly changing and adjusting to the changes in that game. So I think I accidentally put that player in here. So yellow, let's say they start off with unlimited touches. All right, so they're maybe trying to slow things down. They're trying to hold the ball. They have all this time in the world. Black is playing 1 touch, so they have to move the ball quickly. We go 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. unlimited touch. Maybe when they receive, they have to do a move or something like that. So it's going to adjust the way they're playing. So we're just starting to kind of see in this how two teams are playing differently. One team is trying to play slow. One team's trying to play fast. One team's trying to attack the space and move the ball in the field all the time. One team is trying to be a little more direct and stay compact and control. And we can do things even with the scoring and changing the scoring and how teams score. But for this one, I think I think the touch regulation is a great way to kind of slowly integrate that idea of tempo. And it's going to be changing how do you adjust that tempo. So we go one touch, obviously tempo is going to speed up. Limited touch, tempo is going to slow down. And we're changing that. We're seeing how that impacts them. So we can say, hey, look how fast it was when we're playing one touch. When we're playing one touch, it's so fast, but we were too bunched up, so we couldn't play as well. So we need to open up. But when we want to play, we want to slow things down. We want to possess a little more. Hey, we're playing a little wider. We're playing with 3-4 touches. We're holding the ball, waiting for the pressure to come in before we release. So we're getting that visualization of what that tempo looks like in a more game-like situation. From here, what we'll do is we'll go one team in here will score. I didn't really need to delete that. But we'll take one team will score by how many passes they play, and one team will score by their time of possession. So you have an assistant coach or yourself on the clock, and black has the ball, and for every 30 seconds they hold the ball, they get a point. Okay, so they're going to look to hold the ball. They're going to play a little slower. Okay, they're going to try to open things up. If they can play a ball and play a 1-2 in the corner here without yellow getting there, they're going to do that. Yellow is going to be scoring by the amount of passes they complete. So they're going to want to move the ball quickly. They don't want to play 1 or 2 touch. They're going to get off their foot. It's really not too different from what we were just doing. It really is a similar situation, but what we're now doing is you're really focusing on a more, again, making it a little more game-like. With black, they're holding the ball. They're trying to, they're not essentially, they're trying to kill out the game. And then yellow is like, we need to go fast. So we can talk about and stop in here and talk about, well, how do we go faster? How do we create more passes? What should our movement look like? What does our off-the-ball movement look like? What does our communication look like? How would this look in the game? And then same thing for black. Hey, we're trying to possess. How do we make sure that we're slowing the game down? We're not stopping playing. We're not losing the ball. We're not giving up possession. We're making sure that we're constantly on it, and we're drawing them in, and then we're playing the ball away and making yellow work for the ball and upping that press. And then defensively as well. Hey, they're doing this. They're trying to slow it down. How do we defensively speed this up? How do we offensively slow it down? Or defensively slow it down? What do we do from there in these situations? And I think there's a lot of opportunities in this drill to stop, talk, and try to bring that picture to the player's head of how would this tempo look in this situation. And then from here, I would go into playing situations in the game. So maybe we connect these situations, the tempo to the situation. We're up 1-0. We're trying to kill out the game. What does our tempo look like? How do we make that tempo? Asking these questions of our players. Hey, we really want to slow this game down. How many touches are we taking? Well, we can have more touches. We want to play. We're not in a rush to go forward as much. Hey, we want to play a high tempo. We really want to make them work. All right, we're going side to side. We're playing 1 or 2 touch. We're having a lot of overlaps. We're moving the ball, all that kind of stuff, and making things work. And connecting what we've done in the session and the movement and the 1 touch and the 2 touch, and connecting that to how we can implement that into a game. It's just not we're playing faster. And ultimately, what you're looking for in this is to connect. And you want to be coaching during this and saying things like, all right, let's speed it up. Let's speed it up. And are the players speeding it up? Are they just running faster? Or are they just getting the ball faster and we're losing possession because we're running around without any kind of forethought? Or are we implementing that? Is the communication you're giving to your players, is that effective now because of what you've taught? Hey, let's speed up the tempo. And all of a sudden, we see a 1 and 2 touch. We see off the ball movement overlaps, things like that. Hey, slow down the tempo, let's control it, right? And when you start seeing opening play up and really playing more touches and waiting for and being patient and allowing the defense to try to overload and then breaking the overload with decisive passes, are we seeing those things? And that's the way you can kind of gauge the effectiveness of this session. So I'd love to hear in the comments some of the things you guys would do in your sessions for this and how you would control tempo and some of the ways you'd kind of try to recreate those game-like situations and the verbiage that you would use and how you link the verbiage to these types of game-type situations. So once again, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching. And with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2025, I hope the session finds you well.